I'm Erin. I've said it before, but it never changes. Food is universal, and it's a great way to connect with the important people in your life. Today, I'll show you how to make a delicious pork chop recipe that's quick and easy and tastes wonderful. With Valentine's Day fast approaching, Mike and I take a little time to enjoy dinner, just the two of us, with no kids, and it starts here in the kitchen on Our Wyoming Life. Hi, and thanks for joining me today on Our Wyoming Life. Ranch life can often get in the way of the holidays. Our anniversary is during haying, and trust me when I say that Mike doesn't stop the tractor so we can celebrate. This year on Valentine's Day, we both have other commitments in town. So we take a minute when we can and enjoy a nice meal after the kids have gone to bed. If this is your first time here, please subscribe and come along to explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary. The busier we get, it's often easy to forget to make time for what's important. And before too long, it'll be calving season, and then gardening season, and then farmer's market starts. The next few weeks are the calm before the storm. As things pick up here on the ranch, family meals sometimes don't happen. Frozen pizza or even a bowl of cereal before bed becomes more normal. Winter is the time of the year that I really get to spend time in the kitchen preparing the meals that I love cooking. It's also an opportunity for Mike and I to spend some time together, and once in a while we even put the kids to bed and we get to have a meal with just the two of us. About a year ago, I had taken pork chops out of the freezer to thaw, and I didn't have a plan on what I was going to do with them. I just knew that we were having pork chops for dinner. So I stuck my head in the fridge, looked at the ingredients I had on hand, and I looked at a few recipes online for a little inspiration, and I came up with an idea to make pork chops with a mustard cream sauce. I love mustard and cream and anything saucy. When we sat down the first time to eat my new creation, I knew that I had come up with a winner. It's now something that I make often when pork chops are on the menu. It's a super simple recipe that doesn't take long at all to prepare, but it tastes elegant and like it should be on a menu of a restaurant. We get started by turning the oven on to 400 degrees. For a side dish, we are having roasted Brussels sprouts, and they take a little longer than the pork chops, so they will be prepared first. The Brussels sprouts are rinsed, cut in half, tossed in olive oil, salt and pepper, and then laid out on a cookie sheet, cut side down. This way they will get a nice and crispy on one side. They will take about 20 to 25 minutes, and they will need to be stirred at about the 15-minute mark. We will also be having white rice. The first time that I made this, I was out of potatoes, so I cooked up some rice. We actually both loved it as it soaked up the sauce from the pork chop, and it was delicious. Some jasmine rice and water are added to a pan and cooked according to the package instructions. Now it's time for the star of the meal, the pork chops. These pork chops were raised right here on the ranch. They are 1 inch thick and are bone in. Leaving the bone in helps keep the meat juicy, and it also has more flavor. The pork chops are patted dry and sprinkled liberally with kosher salt and pepper. On the stove, we add olive oil and about 2 teaspoons of butter to a pan and turn it on to medium-high heat. Once the pan is hot, we add the pork chops. They will take about 4 minutes per side, and it's important to leave them alone while they cook so that the crust develops. When they are ready to turn, they will release easily from the pan. If they are sticking, give them another 30 to 60 seconds. After both sides are brown, they are transferred to a cookie sheet and placed in the oven for about 10 minutes to finish cooking. Now we can make the sauce. More oil can be added to the pan if needed. Half of a small sweet onion that has been finely chopped goes into the pan. A shallot would also work nicely if you have one. After the onions have cooked for a couple of minutes, 1 clove of chopped garlic gets added into the pan. After the garlic cooks for about a minute, the pan can be deglazed with some white wine. So we aren't big wine drinkers. and I never have any around, and it seems silly to open a bottle when I only need about half a cup for a recipe. So in the grocery store, in the condiment aisle, you can usually find white cooking wine. It's handy to have around for when you need just a little bit of wine for cooking. Once the pan is deglazed and all the brown bits have been scraped up, we can add half a cup of chicken stock. We also let this come to a boil and reduce the heat to medium-low and let the stock and wine reduce by about half. Once the sauce is reduced, the mustard can be added. 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard and 1 tablespoon of whole grain Dijon mustard are used. You can add more or less depending on how much mustard flavor you want in the sauce. But be careful and remember, you can always add a little bit more, but it's a little bit more difficult to take out. A half a cup of heavy cream is whisked in and we let the sauce come back up to a boil for a few minutes to thicken. The last step is to taste the sauce and add salt and pepper as needed. This is a great time to add a little bit more mustard if you want. Everything should be done all about the same time. We pull the Brussels sprouts and the pork chops out of the oven. The rice gets fluffed and everything gets placed on a plate. The mustard cream sauce can be poured over the pork chop. And no one's gonna judge you if you pour it all over your plate. It's that good. Mike and I get to sit down and eat after a long day of work. The toys get shoved out of the way on the table. We have some fancy pink napkins left over from Mackenzie's birthday party. The dog is laying beside us, waiting hopefully for some leftovers. We sit and we visit about our days. We tell funny stories about what the kids did or said. And we of course talk about YouTube and what Sunday's video is going to be about. We also decide what needs to be done tomorrow, where the kids need to be, and who is going to get them there. It's definitely not the romantic talk of when we were first dating, but I know for a fact both of us wouldn't have it any other way. Life often gets crazy, and it's easy to take people for granted. It was really nice tonight to sit down and have a meal as husband and wife. Sometimes we forget what it's like to be adults when there's always 3 little ones running around all of the time. Make sure that you subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you don't miss an episode. We have new episodes every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. The ranch life can often pull Mike and I in totally different directions, but I'm grateful for the time that we got to spend together tonight. And now we even get to do the dishes together. If I can find Mike, he's around here somewhere. So good night, and thanks for joining me in our Wyoming life.